It's YF Dizzy, and you watching YF Dizzy TV, coming live from FBRN.US, Globe Life Park, Arlington, Texas. It is December 29, 2020, meaning it's my birthday. That means I'm halfway to 50, looking forward to it. I actually am looking forward to being a grandpa one day, just walk around in my boxes yelling from the porch, "Get off my lawn!" That's what my goals are for my future. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. You Don't Have to Be Lonely at farmersonly.com. Thank you for sponsoring the show. And today we have FBRN host of the month for the month of November. Just a cool little, cool dude that always has great vibes, great energy, and a good time. The host of Sabes. What up, Jose?
What's up, everybody? Man, I'm just excited to be here. It feels weird to be on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
I'm so used to hosting my own show, and I appreciate you having me today. Happy birthday to you.
Appreciate it,
little
man.
Bro, man. I'm really happy for you, and all the successes that are just coming from you from the beginning of the year to where you're at now. So,
man, thank you.
Yes.
It's actually been a crazy year. I've went through a lot of ups but a lot of downs at the same time. I feel like it's been an equal year, but at the same time, I'm still getting closer to my goals. And speaking of, this is actually the last episode of YF Dizzy TV.
Ooh, it's been a long year. It's long, but it went by so fast.
Yeah. It went by pretty fast. Like, I guess because we was in the house the whole time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember when in the summer we used to be in the house the whole time. The
Yes.
summer would go by. But, it is what it is. But, yeah, it's the last episode of this particular, way of me doing my show. Because I don't know if you remember when I first started, I was doing music interviews and stuff like that. And that's where YF Dizzy TV was going to be a main thing. But I've actually changed the name starting my next show.
Right.
And it's going to be the Red Pill Experience.
I like that.
It's going to be right on the nose. YF Dizzy TV is like, what is that about?
Right.
Yeah, but this is going to be the Red Pill Experience. It's my, third rebrand. First it was a completely different show. It was two hosts. I split from that, started doing music. But then as I was doing that, I was like, you know what? This is what I really want to do. And that's what I started doing.
And this is the beauty of radio. And it's one word, David. You know what that one word is? Evolving.
Yeah, evolve,
because that's what I'm doing. That's what you're doing. And you know what? As we continue to grow, things change. And it's not always going to be maybe how we expected it to be. We all have our visions and how we want to do things. But the great thing about it is as we evolve, we grow, things change for the better, and new things for the audience is always a good thing.
Yeah. And that brings me to my first point. I actually was hearing some stuff through the grapevine, and I just basically want to say the point that people need to make their bed before they try to fix the world. You know what I mean? I feel like nowadays we have a lot of people who is social media heroes, if that makes sense, and they want to criticize a lot of others, but at the same time they're not working on their life. And they pay too much attention to other people's moves. And I feel like that's where a lot of my success came from this year is I stayed focused on my stuff. Even to this point, I don't even have an Instagram no more.
Right.
I had two. I have over 3,000 followers on one.
I thought you were mad at me. I thought you deleted me. I said, "Oh, David unblocked me." I was like, "What had happened?"
No, I feel like that's how a lot of people feel because
Right.
it looks like I blocked you, but I just deleted both because Instagram came with their new guidelines and all that where they could basically hack your phone, and I wasn't down with that.
Right.
But yeah, just fix your own, your own home, and it is what it is.
I mean, in order for you to basically help others, you got to help yourself.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it boils down to. I mean, in order for you to educate others, you got to educate yourself. You got to be able to be reading books and growing. And what I always say is surrounding by other like-minded individuals and all these good things that are going will eventually come out and just keep sharing with folks.
And how you gonna teach somebody if you don't know nothing?
Exactly.
Well, what are you gonna teach them?
Right.
You gonna teach them wrong also? I feel like that's a big thing that's in our world right now. Everybody's trying to be a coach.
Yeah.
Why would somebody come to you if you haven't accomplished nothing? Do you know what I mean? If you there's nothing below. You've never written a book. You don't got no show. You don't got nothing. But you want to be the guru.
Right.
I feel like that's a big problem in our generation is everybody wants to be the guru and make their money that way, but nobody wants to do a craft in order to be a guru at the craft. You can't just be a guru of all trades. I don't know if you ever read the book, what's it called? The One Thing, where basically it says you should just focus on one thing. You can't be I think it was 10,000 hours or something, but you can only focus on one thing at a time. You can't be great at everything. You can't do cooking and then be a great, architect and at the same time go to doctor school, because then it stretches you out so far that you're just average at everything instead of just being great at one thing.
And I think that's what happens, David, is a lot of us have a lot of dreams. We have a lot of goals, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens is that we sometimes overwhelm ourselves by having our hands in every single bucket that's out there. And you wonder why. What you basically did was you went out there and planted all these seeds, but none of them are growing because you're not paying attention and to that one flower, that one seed, to let it, nurture it and make sure it has sunlight and make sure it's, the exact water that it needs every single day. So you're absolutely right. One thing I've learned this year is that, and people told me this, if you want to do radio, focus on radio. Don't focus on everything else and then expect the radio to grow, because you're just distracted and your mind's going every which way. So it's one of those things that when I told myself, this is what I want to do with my life, this is what I want to make of it, and this is, how big I want it to be, then I needed to start basically paying attention to it 100%.
Yeah. And, hey, Angela, it's not flipping on the screen. Okay, there it goes. So, just focus on one thing at a time. And, my tia is in the comments saying, okay, Crown Royal, don't let me confuse you. I'm just using a prop bottle. This is apple juice right here.
Right.
We getting lit off that apple juice, you know what I'm saying? I'm too young to be drinking.
I'm over here sipping on that Jumex.
Oh, man.
Is that Miss Alva?
Yeah.
I see her on there.
That's my Thea. What up, Thea? Thank you for happy birthday. Then Kristen say happy birthday, too. Thank you, Kristen.
What's up, Kristen?
If anybody is watching the show, if you want me or Jose to take a shot, just put a comment on somebody's name, and then it will be done.
How about putting that emoji shot?
Well, oh, yeah, but put the emoji shot and then somebody's name, and somebody going to take it. She said, don't lie. Yeah, I might lie a little bit.
So one thing I want to touch on real quick while you were talking about, everything, was one thing that you said earlier this year.
What's up?
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
You remember saying that?
Mm-hmm. I was talking about, because I remember this dude was trying to beef on me, and this is when I was using one of my Instagram pages to, I was doing memes and stuff. So it had 3,000 followers, but I'm not really about numbers. My main one had 600-700. He was like, oh, don't come talking to me when you don't even have 1,000 Instagram followers. I'm like, dude, that don't even matter.
You know why?
Why?
Because he doesn't know about quality over quantity.
And that's why I messed up early at first. Oh, dang. So in the comments, we got Miss Fancy Nancy saying, Jose, take a shot because he's single. Yep. When did that happen, man? He said, I left the house. I thought we was happy.
Right. Left in a relationship, came back and single.
Oh.
I see, sis.
Man.
I'm taking shots of that, though.
I guess you're sleeping on the couch again.
Look, pinky up.
Pinky up. Oh, man. I'm going to take it with you.
This tea, though.
Yeah, the tea.
It's getting hot in here all of a sudden.
It's a little hot. I'm over here sweating. My underarms is a little swampy.
My blood pressure's starting to go up all of a sudden.
Sheesh, I don't think it's the drink.
Right. Can you pass the pills, please? Can you pass the red pill, please?
Yeah, but I have to ask you something.
Go ahead.
So, do you think that people with disabilities, people with disabilities could be assholes sometimes?
Absolutely, because they feel like sometimes the world owes them something.
Yeah.
And they play what I say the victim mentality, and we have too much of that going on in this world, and we're all dealt cards.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let's keep it 100. And even though it may look glorious on the outside, doesn't mean that it's glorious on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that a lot of people that look like they're living the best lives, it's kind of a facade of what it is behind the scenes, and there's always a hustle, there's always a grind, of what's going on, behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, are you the one that's grinding, getting up every single day to, do something different?
Yeah, because I feel like we have this dude at work, right? and he's disabled to an extent.
Right.
And I feel like he's a jerk to me sometimes because I'll say, good morning, boss. How you doing? Just trying to live up the energy. And he'll just, but then let a lady come by. He's like, hey, how are you?
Right.
I'm like, man, that was fake. I just said hello to you, man.
Right.
And that's why I feel like sometimes people just assume they can't be jerks. Just like babies. I feel like babies could be jerks. I feel like my son is a jerk sometimes. He'll step on my box and he'll look me dead in my eye. I'm like,
right.
You for real?
Yeah.
You trying to box. I see that. You trying to box.
Try to test that patience.
Yeah.
See how far I can go.
Mm-hmm. And he just turned 2 days ago. So happy birthday to my son. And he been testing me this whole year before he turned 2.
Terrible 2s.
Now he's 2. So now we finna see what's going to happen. Sheesh.
Are you, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you 2 things.
Okay.
Did you get spanked growing up?
Yeah.
So do you believe in spanking your kids once they get to the point
Hell
where
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I believe spanking my kid if they look at me wrong.
Right.
No,
right.
I'm just joking. Nah, but I do believe in corporal punishment because I feel like that's why a lot of people don't got respect now. It's because they didn't get their ass whooped when they was little. They ain't never fear nobody.
Right.
Whenever you were young, you had to fear your mom or your dad, and that showed you respect to other people. And now we have a lot of kids who grew up in a society where it's like, oh, whoopings is bad. And now you see them being jerks to somebody down, at the store or, cutting you off in traffic because they ain't no respect. You know what I mean?
For real.
You spank your kids?
Boy, I gave my son a whooping right before Christmas. He was trying to act up.
Yeah.
He was in the back seat. I guess he didn't think I wasn't going to park that car. I sure did park that car. I got my little butt up. I went to the back seat and I whooped him.
Sheesh.
And this is one of those things that I never do that, but like, you got to remind them who the parent is and what they can say and what they can't say. And I never spank him. He never gets to the point where I need to spank him. But that day he was disrespectful, and he straightened up. And later on, he apologized. I said, "Are you sorry?" He's like, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, then we good then." And I'm one of those that I forgive him, and you move on. That's it, And then people sometimes criticize me like, "Well, you just spanked him. Now you're talking about going to buy him some ice cream, so you're trying to reward him." But for me, it's one of those things that the situation's already been addressed. Now move on.
Move on. You don't gotta stay mad at him.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one part where I have to get better is, I sometimes tend to not stay mad, but like I want to after I chastise my son, I want to be like, don't pick him up. Let him sit there with what he did. But my girl be like, don't stay mad at him.
Right.
But when I was young, after I got a whooping, I always felt like, damn, I deserve that shit,
Yeah.
Whenever we did something, that's why I don't feel bad whenever I do it. Yes, my son is a little young, but I feel like he's smart. He understands what he's doing. We'll tell him no, and he'll still do it. He knows what no means because he tells us no. His song will come on, and I'll change it. He'll put his little finger, no,
right,
no,
right.
So I know he knows what it means because he says it.
That's right.
So for him to, that's why I know there's a benefit to doing it.
Yeah.
My mom used to tell me, this hurts me more than it hurts you.
Yeah.
It don't hurt me more than it hurts him.
I know.
But
my mom said, I'm spanking you because I love you. And I'm like, can you stop loving me so much?
Yeah, you loving me a little too strong, goddamn.
Can I get you to love my brother and my sisters over there, please?
My love be living marks.
Boy, that belt, whenever it was wet, boy, that was no joke.
But whenever did you feel this way? You got siblings, right?
I do. I was the oldest.
Yeah, whenever your siblings, so I'm the oldest too.
Okay.
Whenever your siblings got spanked, did you ever feel sad?
Boy, I felt bad because it was one of those things that I was like, all of a sudden, my attitude changed. Look, I started cleaning up my room for no reason.
Yeah, you said, Mom, I clean my room.
Yeah.
You want me to do the dishes, Mom?
Right. Is there anything else you need me to do?
Yeah.
Straighten up real quick.
But I remember my brother, mainly my brother, he used to get spankings, and I'd be over there be like, damn, bro.
Right.
That's messed up. Don't whip him like that.
Yeah. Well, what my situation was, I felt bad because I would blame something on my brother, something he did or didn't do.
You did that.
And then he would get whooped, and I'm like, I shouldn't have did that. Like, mom went hard on him.
Yeah. See, I ain't never false claim on him, but I remember one time we used to live in some apartments, and then some little black kid was knocking on my window to my room. I'm like, I opened it up. I was like, what's up? He said, this is the homework from Miguel. That's my brother's name. I said, okay. And I grabbed it. I went straight to my mom. I'm like, look, somebody just dropped off some homework for Angel.
And she whooped him.
She whooped him. But I mean, I felt like he needed to learn because then he wasn't ever gonna do his own work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just stuff like that. I wouldn't snitch on him like, oh, he took some candy.
Right.
Because I was right there with him taking that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we both got whoopings.
That's right.
So let me ask you. I had this situation at work, right? And my lady works with me, and she was talking to one of her friends, and he was telling her like, "Oh yeah, I'm finna hang out with my ex-girlfriend this weekend." And she was like, "Don't you have a girlfriend?" He was like, "Yeah, but me and my girlfriend both hang out with our exes. It's cool." How do you feel about that? Do you think once you're in a new relationship, it's still okay to hang out with your ex?
I don't, man. It's one of those things that the reason why I don't agree with it, you know, I mean, first of all, I mean, that's the past.
Yeah.
You know, once you get to a point, and this is where the situation changes, is that when you have kids with them, and once you get to the point where you're both matured, because it takes time, I don't care how old you are, when you get to the point where you can co-parent, and let's say you can be at the same birthday party at the same time and stuff like that.
Co-parent is different because I feel like if me and my lady split up, it will be good for us to hang out together and with our child and take them to putt-putt or something.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's good for kids to see their parents do stuff together.
My whole thing is that I don't think that it's good to hang out with exes because it could eventually open up a whole can of worms. Mm-hmm. That's just my whole thing is that, you know what, especially if they had a long history, they're real comfortable for each other. And it's not that I'm insecure about my ways. It's just that I have a trust. You know, I don't know this dude.
Well, it's just even human nature.
Right.
Because once you reach a certain level of comfort with somebody, even if you split up, you still have that level of comfort.
What he thinks is okay is not going to be okay with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They might have had different rules in their relationship. They're like, hey, this would have been cool with us.
And
you know?
what his girl may be okay with, my girl may not be okay with, you know?
And see, and my main problem is he's like a soft-spoken dude. And so when he says he's honestly not going to do nothing with his ex, you know, I believe him. But his lady, my girl said, is very attractive. And her hanging out with her ex is kind of like, ooh, like,
right.
You know, why you going back to your ex?
Right.
And very often, like, you know, once a month y'all hanging out?
Yeah.
Y'all friends.
I mean, y'all might as well go ahead and just get back together.
Exactly.
Right.
What's the point of breaking up if y'all still hanging out?
That means there's some loose ends somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Somebody getting something.
Right.
Somebody getting something.
Ain't nothing for free.
Yeah, ain't nothing for free.
Give a little, get a little.
Yeah. You want some shrimp?
Right.
Okay. We need that sucky.
Yeah. I was born that night, but not last night.
Oh, man. Let them know, man. I wasn't born last night.
Mama didn't raise no fool.
Miss Sammy says she disagrees.
And again, it all goes back to the point of, you know, where are you at with those individuals? And but the problem is that you don't have enough secure people in who just love themselves at the end of the day. If you love yourself, because, I mean, with Nancy right now, she'll tell you, I don't care what you do, who come around you, this is that. It is what it is. But like, you know, you get to a certain point where you just can't be worrying about those things. My energy and my time needs to go on something that's going to make me more just evolve and be better a person. You know, I don't have time to be worrying if that person's cheating, if that person doing this. I don't care about that no more. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I mean, if and this is the thing, if you know how that is in the beginning of a relationship, you just need to accept it. I mean, if she's telling you that's how it is, you either accept it and you go along with it, and if you don't, then you need to, you know, those boundaries need to be addressed in the beginning. And that's with any relationship. Boundaries need to be set.
This is what I feel in general. I feel like males and women hanging out together in a group setting is okay. But for a man and a woman to hang out as friends, I feel like there's no reason to. Because anytime a man and a woman is friends, it's never just cut and cleared. You know what I mean? There's always like underlying feelings. Somebody likes somebody. Not both is not gonna like each other because then they would have been got together. But one person is gonna like the other,
right? Whether
you wanted to or not. You could be the nicest person you want to be, the most respectful, but somebody likes somebody, and I feel like that's been true in every case that I've personally experienced. I can't speak outside my experience, but from my personal experience, that's just what I've seen.
What it all boils down for me is that if that's what they want to do, let them do it.
and I'm not speaking from a professional,
Right.
From profession is different because that's your job.
Yeah.
If you're a club promoter and you're around women all the time, then that's different because that's your job. So you have to have women friends because you have to bring women to the club. If you a radio host, it's gonna be important for you to have both female and male guests because that just expand your horizons and hear a different perspective on your show. But I'm talking about hanging out consistently one-on-ones.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell her, I was like, babe, you should tell them the truth. You already know what's up. She was like, yeah, I know.
Right.
But, it's not our place. We're not going to put our shoe where our socks don't fit,
And I mean, Sammy made a good point. Some people are better friends than marriage partners. I do have a lot of friends that they are still good friends with their exes, but it's because like she hit around the dot. I mean,
that's true.
it just didn't work out as a marriage. You
romantically, it's not what you want.
Or for whatever reason, it just didn't work out. But that doesn't mean at the end of the day, we're all humans. We need to love each other, point blank. And we just we fall into this society where everybody wants to put their 2 cents on with everything and what you can and can't do, and you just get to the point where I mean, if you just love everybody, it is what it is. Whatever somebody's going to do, they're going to do regardless. And I mean, just it is what it is. They got to live with those consequences. They got to answer to somebody eventually. And you know what? I'm not the one to judge them.
Because I feel like sometimes, you can't even trust the pastor sometimes. Because I don't even, if you heard, if some of these pastors be like rock stars and the women be flocking all over them. Have you heard about those pastors?
Yeah.
They be like, Deacon Jones, he's, such a wonderful man. And then, as soon as there's a funeral, how he got the wife already on his arm.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I feel like, it is what it is. But you watching Why of Dizzy TV. It's my birthday. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Please give a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell Jose or me to take a shot, and we will. He's running low on his cup. I could tell he took a couple sips, so I'm going to go ahead and refill it during commercial break. We're going to take a quick break. Angela going to play some music for us, and we'll be right back. Boom, boom. What up, everybody? It's Why of Dizzy TV. I'm here with Jose from Sabes, and Angela is my board op today. And real quick, I know y'all see the Mavericks. I got the number 1, Dennis Smith. My lady actually has the Luka on today.
Yes.
And then my son has Dirk.
Nice.
He has a little Dirk one. So, we went out today, got a little Dallas stuff. And I just want to say I'm a man of simple means. Because if y'all want to ask me today where I went out for my birthday, I actually told my girl, just send me to McDonald's.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. My mom took me to Roadhouse, this weekend. So I was like, I don't want to go back to Roadhouse,
right.
So I was just like, no, take me to McDonald's. Give me 20-piece chicken nuggets, some fries, and a frappe. I was happy as can be.
The simple things in life.
The simple things. But she did give me, you ever seen one of the little machines that punch your muscles? Like,
I want one of those.
They got them at Walmart for like $40.
It has like the ball at the end.
Yeah,
really I want one of those.
And it's really good. I've used it. It wasn't even fully charged because I had to come here. I'm using it. It feels really good. I'm gonna use it on my feet.
Yes.
But I wanted to point this out because I want to talk about the Mavericks.
Shout out to the Mavericks, man. They just started off 0-2, and then all of a sudden went to LA and just acted a fool.
Yeah, they turned up on them. Punched them in the mouth and left them out to dry,
Boy, how embarrassing. It's like they were playing like a college team or something.
Yeah. They came out there because, they was mad from the playoffs last season, so they came out there showing what to do, Right. They said, y'all don't want to see us this year. Maybe last year y'all got lucky. And then, yes, they were missing Kawhi, but we don't have Porzingis.
There you go.
Same thing. And Kawhi is a better player than Porzingis. Kawhi is, like, easily top 10 player.
Right.
They got Paul George, Pandemic P.
For real.
And, they beat them by 50. They was up by 50 at halftime. I seen a stat where they said they could have scored 0 points and still beat the Clippers by 4 at the end of the game.
That's sad.
But I don't know if do you play fantasy football at all?
No.
So,
I played in the past, but I didn't play this year.
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen Alvin Kamara on Christmas.
From New Orleans?
Yeah, he scored 6 touchdowns.
Went off on him.
And he was on my team. So basically, I won championships in both my leagues because he 50 points. And usually, an average score is like 120.
Right.
So he got like a third of my points before anybody played. So
wrapped it up before Christmas.
Thank you, Alvin Kamara. And everybody on my team went off, and I just want to say thank you. I finally won the championship. I've been the championship past 3 years.
Man, holding it down.
Yeah, holding it down. But I lost every year. My people would just fall, or
injured.
No, or they would have they would already be in the playoffs, so they wouldn't play the last 2 games.
Yeah, so you couldn't get any points from.
I couldn't get any points.
They wouldn't even play them.
Yeah, my best players are sitting out.
Yeah.
So that is what it is with that. But what was I finna say? So my son, he's a very messy little kid. Every time he gets his toys out, he can't just play with a couple. He grabs everything and just spreads it out. I'm like, why is he messy? I was never messy.
Right.
But then one day we was coming home from work, and my lady, I let her walk in first, and I seen her. She throws her bag on the couch, kicks her shoes over there, throws her jacket over there, starts taking off her clothes, leaving it. I'm like, oh, I see it. You're the mess. And that's what I told her. I said,
the apple don't fall from the tree.
I see it now.
Right.
That's a little you right there.
Oh, he just seeing everything she's doing. And if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah. And I always wonder, when I be home, well, when she be home, it be clean. But whenever I be around by myself, it stays clean. Even with my son, I give him 2 toys. He can play. He's happy. But whenever she's there with him, I come home messed. I'm like, geez. But she is a great lady. I'm not saying she's not a great lady. Just everybody has downfalls, and hers just happy to be a little messy.
Just a little messy.
Yeah, she even told me today, she said, I'm nervous about wearing this white shirt. I was like, why? She was like, I guess because in the back of my head, I know I'm messy, so I know I'm finna get it dirty.
You can't take her to go eat some menudo because it'd be all over her shirt.
Red everywhere.
Right.
It's more of an orange. I feel like red, orange. It's both. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm thankful for another year. We're coming to the end, 2 days away?
Yeah.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I mean, for me, it's not really resolutions. It's more of just a few goals that I want to accomplish, and one of them is with the radio station. Others is just to educate myself on other things that I want to continue to learn in the industry, as far as learning how to do flyers, learning how to do more videography.
Yeah.
Just, continue to teach myself that way I can be more, universal, and I don't have to outsource any, funds to go hire somebody to do this and do that. I want to be a person that I can kind of do it all.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. I like that you say goals instead of resolutions, because I feel like if it's a goal, people tend to stick to them instead of a resolution. Because let's say you stop working out after the first week, which is most people's goals. Most people don't get back to it, or eating right. But whenever it's a goal, you can look back at it and then hop back onto the train if you fall off.
Right.
And that's something I did this year, that I did it subconsciously, because a couple of weeks ago I found this little paper. I did my 2020 stuff I wanted to get done. And I'm actually way closer than I thought I was, because I thought, with Corona, I was going to be slacking all year.
Right.
But I ended up, not even that far from my goals, which is you're supposed to set goals to make you get out your comfort zone. So you're not even supposed to completely smash your goals. That's the point of them, is to try to smash them.
Right.
But any progress you make from where you're at right now, I feel like that's a win.
And one thing I want to tell people is this, and don't wait till the first to start thinking about what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. I mean, I've been talking about this since November. Like, okay, this is what I want to do. You got to start now. You can't wait. There's no magic switch that you're gonna flip on January 1st, and all of a sudden you got the motivation, you got the drive to just do all these things. I mean, that's not how it works. You got to prepare yourself. You have to write it down. You have to know what you need to do to get there. There's a lot of steps to meeting your goals. And like I said, first and foremost is writing them down on paper, putting them up in your wallet, putting them up in your room, putting them up on the refrigerator, putting them up everywhere, so that you're reminded about what you need to do every single day.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more in your face it is, the more likely you are to do it. Because I've been studying habits, and I read this book, Atomic Habit, which was one of the best books I didn't read it, but I listened to it, and it's one of the best books I've ever had. Because what it said is, you're going to do what's easiest. Whatever you make in your life to be the easiest, that's what you're going to do. And that's why the reason you sit in front of the TV when you get home is because your couch is located right in front of your TV, right?
It's easy.
It's easy. The reason whenever you're at work, you grab some chips is because at the little store that they probably have, or the little vending machine, that's all they have is chips.
It's convenient.
It's convenient. So it's not necessarily that you like the chips more or that you want to watch TV. It's just the most convenient thing to do.
Right.
So something I did the day I read that book is I put my couch against the wall, and I put my desk right where the couch was. So I was looking out the window, and I could be productive every day.
Right.
It's the easier thing to do now.
It's one of those things that I found myself. I had a small office space. I found myself sometimes during the week just going in there, and just writing stuff on paper and preparing for my shows. People would ask me all the time, "When do you prepare for your shows? The night before?" And I'm like, "No, like as soon as that show's over on Wednesday night, the next day, I'm already thinking of who am I going to have next week, what kind of video am I going to put up to represent who they are and what they're doing." Researching, their information, making sure that they have directions to parking and the address. And there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And if you're not prepared, it reflects on your show.
Yeah, it really does. Because you see a lot of times people tend to struggle to get through the hour. But whenever you have a schedule and you have your points, you really just flow through it. And there's been some times where, my guests won't show up, or,
absolutely,
something might happen or something just falls through, and I've had to improvise, and I feel like those shows weren't as good as whenever I had it scheduled out and who's going to be there and what my topics was. And it really does, break down to that.
You got to be prepared for every situation. I had somebody cancel on me this year too, and I wasn't prepared, and had to cancel the show, because it was set for another day.
Yeah. But
it was a lesson learned. It was one of those things that I still need to have my show on. I still need to have other topics that I can talk about. Mm-hmm. I need to have a backup plan in case something happens. All these things that you got to, plan accordingly, and just be prepared for whatever may happen, because you don't know what's going to happen in that person's life. Something may have happened to them in an accident. They're just not going to make it or whatever.
Yeah, they must have, an emergency, or,
right.
Their wife is in the hospital, or you never know. That's why from that one point on, I started always having I would have my main show, and under I write just in case show, in case they don't show up, or in case we run through those topics too fast, just in case, just what is it? State Farm.
Right. And exactly. It's one of those things that it just teaches you accountability, it teaches you responsibility, and just, being prepared for every situation that may arise.
Yeah. Man, we got a lot of people in here, and I'm going to say it again. If you want Jose to take a shot, put it in the comments. Put Jose, take a shot. You want me to take a shot? But David, take a shot.
I don't need y'all putting my name out there no more.
Put his name out there. We in here getting lit. We coming to the end of, hour one. We about to have a song and some commercials. But when we get back, we about to get back into it. It is YF Dizzy TV here with YF Dizzy, Jose, and Angela as my board up.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Yo, it's YF Dizzy, and you watching YF Dizzy TV. The last episode, we're going to a rebrand. Next episode is going to be the Red Pill Experience, hosted by YF Dizzy. So it's still going to be me. Still, my name's still the same. And speaking of YF Dizzy, I actually make music from time to time. And I made this song with my boy Drowsy. I had him on my other show a while back. I don't know if y'all remember him, but he's one of the best, if not the best rapper in Arlington.
Don't sleep on him.
Yeah, don't sleep on him. He's only 19.
Nice.
Yeah, so I couldn't really invite him to this show because, I wanted to drink a little bit and I didn't want him to feel left out. But he's one of the best rappers in Arlington, and this is going to be our song. It dropped today, and I hope to make a music video pretty soon. But, with the holidays and everything's been really busy. But this is our song, Drip. Let me know what y'all think in the comments by me and Drowsy. Let's go. I want to make a music video. Yeah. Drip of the sauce, drip in my bed. Drip of the sauce, drip of the fit. Dripping in work, flipping that shit. Dripping in gold, flood the wrist. Buffet strong, roll that shit. Lean the bottle, hold that shit. Miles and balls, more that shit. Say she swallow, I know that shit. Now drip, drip, now drip, drip, now drip. Say she drip, drip, drip. She loving my drip, drip, drip.
my head, grind up on my cup. Wife in this bitch get lit, we don't get no fucks. Kodak told you bitches want them stepping on my rug. Getting money easy, who the fuck told you it was tough? Don't get upset, bitch, gotta get to the bag, bitch. I ain't tryna fuck you hoes, cause all you bitches get the blabbing. Most of y'all are average, most of y'all are has-beens. Me fuck with you, yeah, not even a chance, bitch. Drip of the sauce, drip my bed, drip of the sauce, drip of the fit, dripping in work, flipping that shit, dripping in gold, flood the wrist, buffin' strong, roll that shit, lean the bottle, pour that shit, miles and balls, more that shit. Say she swallow, I adore that shit. Now drip, drip, now drip, drip, now drip. Say she drip, drip, drip. She loving my drip, yeah, drip. She wanted my drip, drip, drip. All of my drip, 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 drip.
Yes, young Drowsy, yeah, I get crazy. I love money, bitch, fuck you, pay me. If you fuck with me, you gotta kill me. Bitch, I'm different, don't tell me you feel me. I don't take drugs, dog, I stay sober. I gotta fuck around and shoot the blower. She kissing on me, told her go lower. You know I stay strapped like a soldier. I've been going through it as a late. I got a lot of shit on my plate, but I stay thugging, dog, I can't break. I don't be sleeping, gotta stay awake. You know I'm tripping. I'm the youngest still doing it, pippin'. Next to the mic, feeling like I'm pippin'. If you wanna drip, homie, just listen. Me and Dizzy thugging, watch how we drippin'.
Sauce, drip my bed, drip of the sauce, drip of the fit, dripping in work, flipping that shit, dripping in gold, flood the wrist, buffin' strong, roll that shit, lean the bottle, hold that shit, miles and balls, more that shit. Say she swallow, I adore that shit. Now drip, drip, now drip, drip, now drip.
Yo, and we back. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for the second hour of this show is blackpeoplemeet.com. So, just go ahead and check them out. And it's a good dating website.
All I got to say is that world premiere was fire, boy. Hey, shout out to you. I like that, man. I like that. Got that new music and it's smooth.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Smooth as that apple juice you drinking on over there.
That little apple juice got me feeling good. Let me talk to the people. I said, like that. Hey, let me talk to you, little shawty. You feel me? Goddamn. Let me come over here and let me say something in your ear.
Yeah, let me whisper a little song.
Yeah, let me whisper a little something.
Yeah.
What you know about that one? You don't know nothing about that one? Yeah, I was too young to be listening to that. See, I was too young. I'm over here. I was like 12 listening to that.
Yeah, the Yin Yang Twins.
Yeah, Yin Yang Twins. They actually went out to Stephenville not too long ago and performed. Stephenville is a super country town, so everybody was lit though.
Yeah.
That was on a yeehaw.
Country folks. No, man, I really liked it. I liked the beat.
Yeah.
Your boy did good on it too, and it flows right. When I thought the song was over, bam, you come back and just hit it with the 1-2 check of Rex and effects, and Dizzy's about to wreck you. Boy.
Yeah, man. And it's actually been brewing for about like 3 years. I first made that little hook like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just sat on it for a long time because I never liked what my verse was. And so finally I figured it out. And I was like, hey, Drowsy, come on, hop on it, because that's my boy right there. He always hold it down, and he hopped on it and did his thing. But, all right, let's hop into hour number 2. Let me ask you, what's your favorite conspiracy? Or do you have any conspiracies that you believe in a little bit?
I mean, when I think of conspiracies, I think of, like, UFO cover-ups. Mm-hmm. First thing comes to my mind, I think they exist. I think they, there was a scientist or something that recently came out and said something because they were afraid that Trump was going to say something and just spill the beans and stuff like that. So
it was like a Greenland scientist.
Me personally, I always wanted to visit Area 51.
Sheesh.
That's one of my. You remember at the beginning of the year they were going to do this whole.
They were going to storm Area 51,
knock the fence down.
Yeah, they said we're going to Naruto run all the way to the front.
Right.
Yeah, and what do you think the purpose of aliens is?
I mean, my whole thing is that. I mean, first of all, there's just been way too many sightings since, back in the day that people can recall. And the whole thing that now is that people are able to record them, and with their phones. And so, I mean, do life exist outside of Earth? I mean, I think so. I mean,
more than likely.
We can't be just the only ones, in the universe, right? Mm-hmm. So my whole thing is that, I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime, but something will happen where if they do exist, they crash, and then everybody saw it. You can't do that Men in Black where you take that picture and erase everyone's memory.
They're gonna say it's a weather balloon,
right? Or something. So my whole thing is that they were saying that Americans aren't ready for the truth,
which might be true.
But it's one of those things that, I mean, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Or just, I don't know. Like I want to see the real thing. I want to see the pictures. I think there is an undercover, government conspiracy where there are labs and people who, scientists who study them and try to figure out. And there may be some even alive somewhere on these underground, places. But I've always been intrigued by it as a young kid. And for me, hopefully I get to see something like that. And hopefully it's not a point where they're like destroying, Americans and, stuff like that. So who knows?
I feel like if there was aliens that actually, before I even say that, have you ever heard, the Mona Lisa painting, there's a little UFO in the background if you really look at it. They pointed it out on that show Ancient Alien. I know a lot of it is a lot of like boo-boo on there, but that's actually one of the things that they took a historical thing and said, look, there's a UFO right there, and you can see it clear as day. But I feel like with UFOs or aliens, I feel like they treat us more like cattle. Do you know what I mean? Or not cattle, more like an elk. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is we're like a delicacy that they want to come here and eat. But it's like, maybe it costs a lot of money to come here and hunt us. Just like if you were hunting an elk, you would have to buy one of those tags for like $100 or $500 to be able to go hunt them. And I feel like that's what they do here. But they don't come to the city. They're going to go out in a country where there's no cameras all on the, lights and everything.
What do you think about out in the country, speaking of that, where they have these mazes that they can't explain?
Oh, the crop circles? I don't even know what that means. Like, I think that might just be like
That's a really good lawnmower.
Yeah. And to pop up overnight?
You wake up and all of a sudden you got just all kinds of symbols in your backyard.
I think what that is they gave a crackhead some PCP and a lawnmower. And by the morning time,
boy, that John Deere ain't no joke.
Yeah, he
right.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just where they land. I don't know, or what it could be.
There's just been too many unexplained things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, whether it's that or a lot of things where, had that happen.
Yeah.
My things that are unexplained is that when you checking a checking account, you got $100 and all of a sudden you wake up and it's negative $5. I'm trying
That's
to
unexplained.
Unexplained. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember this. You went out to the bar. You had a full bank account.
Right. And then talk about Blockbuster fees. They been out of business, but now they still get me for that.
Now Jose got to sell feet pics just to pay the rent.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, you got to sell them feet pics. But nah, that's speaking of, I seen a post today on Facebook, right? And there was a girl saying, I didn't know men were supposed to be applauded for being a man or doing what men do. And I commented on there, I see why you single. Right. Is that petty or no? Is that justified?
Well, you're throwing jabs already. I mean, just put on the boxing gloves and get ready to go one-on-one with it.
Nah, but I feel like I feel like that's why a lot of women end up lonely and single, is because, one, it is justified. A lot of men aren't men nowadays. We have a lot of men that just stay on the couch all day, let the wife pay the bills, and ain't taking care of don't put their kids in class, don't take their kids to school. They just want to stay up and, be like little boys or something.
Doing whatever, whenever.
Yeah, they don't have no goals. They don't have no drive. They don't have no direction for the household. So that's understandable. But at the same time, that's why I feel like we should applaud men for being men. You know what I mean? Because if nobody is cheering, because I feel like nobody cheers for men. Unless you're a professional athlete. Nobody cheers you on for paying the bills every week. Nobody cheers you on for going to work when your back hurt. Nobody cheers you on for sacrificing. You don't get nothing for Christmas just to make sure everybody else gets something. Nobody ever pats you in the back. That's why I actually am a fighter for men, because I feel like we don't get, our proper due sometimes.
What was that?
It's just a little message I got.
Somebody mad.
Yeah, somebody mad. They
already.
Nah. And that's why I fight for men, because I feel like, not necessarily fight, but I just feel like we don't get our dues. And for the men that's actually doing their work out here, I feel like we should applaud them, because there's so many that's not.
Right. And I mean, it's something that's on so many levels. We can look at it. We can dissect it on so many ways. But, you know, I know if I want to be appreciated just like the next person at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I need to be told good job or pat on the back every single day, but I think if you're in a relationship, I think it's important for you to, you know, acknowledge the other person's, whether it's a male or female, like acknowledge their hard work. You know, tell them thank you. You know, it's not easy getting up every single day, and that's why for me, I try to be spontaneous. You know, I'm one of those people that like I don't like living a content life, and it's one of those. Yeah, it's just never been me, and I can't, you know, I can't continue to do that every single day, because you get burnt out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's where that self-love comes in, and that's where that, you know, sometimes that pause button has to come in to say, hey, you know what, we've been doing this for 4 months straight, you know, let's plan something, you know. And it's just one of those things that, you know, my mom raised me to understand that you don't need a lot of money to go do something.
Yeah.
Jump in the car, make some sandwiches, put them in the back seat, go out there, get a hotel room.
And drive to the next town.
There
you ain't
you
even
go.
got to go to the big town. Just go somewhere you ain't been.
You know how far it is to drive from Dallas to Dallas?
That's far. I'm saying, but drive outside of, you know, a little bit. Go to like Euless, or, you know, the other side of Euless. I don't know what's over there.
Useless.
Yeah, useless. But I'll tell you how they do us. You see, for Mother's Day, the commercials is, get your mom diamond ring, the new necklace, the flower bouquet with roses that's $180.
K Jewelers be having commercials run every 5 minutes.
But you see, Father's Day, get your dad some khakis.
Right.
Why we get khakis for? Get him some tools.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ain't nobody want that toolbox.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'll get it another day.
I ain't trying to fix nothing.
Yeah, well, I got to fix something. Why don't we just pay a guy? But they give us khakis and socks while they want diamonds and trips.
Right.
And that's why, I mean, I feel like it's a little unfair.
We like diamonds, too.
I do like diamonds.
We like trips, too.
Yeah, I like trips, you know. I'm not complaining, though, because I'm very content with how my lady shows my respect to me.
Right. So you tripped and caused some feelings with your lady.
No.
That's the kind of trip you got.
Yeah. I did. You know, I got, you know, feelings with my lady, but I feel like that's why we work, is because I've led my family in the right direction so far. You know, as I've gotten older, at first, you know, it was kind of hard because I was a young man, like 21, and my girl was pregnant. We had been together for only a couple months, and I didn't know what to do.
Well, there ain't no manual, is there?
Yeah, ain't no manual. It didn't say turn left here. You know, it just had to figure it out as I went. Made some executive decisions. Made her move in with me. We moved back with my mom. Stacked our money. And now we got our own place. We had our own Christmas tree this year. It's my first time doing my Christmas tree.
Nice.
And that's why we work, because she follows what I say, but also respects me at the same time. And I feel like that's what social media is teaching women to do, is not to respect their man, because there's better men out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the grass ain't always green on the other side.
Yeah, and I had to learn that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's just, I can go on and on with this subject, because it's one of those things that it all falls back on the individual. You know, what are you willing to put up with? What are you willing to accept? You know, what are you going to be willing to compromise?
Yeah.
All those things that, you know, go into all that.
Yeah. And, you know, that's why, you know, lady, if your man is doing good, you know, just tell him, I appreciate what you're doing. You ain't got to give him no gift. Just say, you know, I appreciate it. I know you ain't have to do this. You know, many men leave and don't handle their business, but you handling your business, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Something like that goes a long way for a man.
It makes you want to do more.
It does. It makes you want to stay on your stuff. It makes you feel powerful. You feel like you got a team behind you. And, ladies, just do that every once in a while. Now, you other men that's out there that's not handling your business, expecting the same thing, y'all don't get no praise till you get on your business. Because as a man, you know when you're not doing right.
But what trips me out is that the ones that ain't doing nothing, but either ones that get all the females.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, it's because they got all the time.
So they're giving them 100% attention.
Yeah, they get all that attention. You know, women love attention, so.
Yeah, they do. and they go out and they get it any which way they can.
Yeah. You said you weren't giving me enough attention. I'm saying
Right.
I'm working 3 jobs, woman. This man is playing Madden all day. That's why he could text you back.
Right. You like that.
Yeah.
Boy, don't
Man,
get me
that's
started on that.
crazy. So, it's hour number 2, Wife Dizzy TV, here with Jose Yatu Sabes, host of the month of November. I'm trying to get that title pretty soon at some point.
You got
I'm just
that.
going to keep working.
Speak it into existence.
And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to get to the Sharky Awards next year. Hopefully
me
COVID
too.
ain't here. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we're going to talk about how COVID affected our year and the outlook for next year. Angelo's going to play some 2000s throwback, maybe some Outkast.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Yeah, baby. I like the way you move, the way you shake that thing. God damn, we back.
Hello.
We back. Wife Dizzy TV here with Jose and Angela
Sabes.
on the board up. And, I feel like this has been a different year.
Yeah, most definitely.
So let me ask you, how did COVID affect your year and how did you maneuver through that?
Man, through COVID, it was just a reality check. And I think you either, became a person who lived in fear and really let the fear of the unknown overtake you and the things that you wanted to do in life. I had to tell myself that I wasn't the only person going through this, that it was okay if I was going to be behind on my bills. It was okay if I had to move. It was okay if I had to stop doing what I was doing because, you had people who were probably millionaires and making 6 figures at the beginning of the year, January, February, and all of a sudden, those same people, it was locked down.
Yeah,
when the
it's
country
gone.
locked down, the country locked down.
Yeah, you can't make no money.
Angela, I don't know if you remember this, but Sammy was giving us papers allowing us to drive at night to get to the studio.
Those first 2 weeks
Right.
was crazy. There
So,
was no cars.
Nobody in the streets. That's what I remember is when it got to the point where I remember driving around, like you said, with nobody in the streets, and we had to have, if we got pulled over, you had to show proof of, why you were out in the streets. It's almost like a curfew, right?
Yeah.
And so, it was life-changing, man, for me. And one thing that it just did for me overall is that it really humbled me, man. It really made me appreciate all the things that I really took for granted. I took my family for granted as much as I tell them that I love them every single day. Not being able to hang out with them on Thanksgiving, not being able to have Easter with them. That's right before Easter.
Yeah.
All these holidays that we're just so accustomed to gathering together and just that we just, it just happened. We look at the calendar, we're like, oh, whose house are we cooking out at? Couldn't no longer do that. And so for me, it was just a eye opener. And I just took it as the point of, you know what? I mean, I can't give up, Don't get me wrong. Anxiety and depression hit me this year,
Sheesh,
harder than I expected, harder than I thought. But always looking for something to stay positive about, The show was a blessing in disguise, It gave me something just to talk about even when people couldn't come on the show and I just, had to freelance it and really have topics to talk about. It forced you to learn, radio by yourself. I remember Paul saying, man, Jose, this is one of your best shows with nobody on there and you just kind of putting it all together. And so it was a lot of, going back to basics for a lot of stuff. And, I can honestly say, I thank God that I personally didn't lose anybody really close to me. I knew of people that I knew that did pass away from COVID. But we're sitting here December 29th. I mean, I feel like, I am a survivor. And I look at it as I could have been the person in the hospital. I could have been the person, who passed away. COVID, it didn't discriminate, right?
No.
And it was one of those things that when you first get it, you actually don't know how hard it's going to hit you. That's the biggest fear, right?
Yeah.
And then when you do wake up that one morning and you can't take a full breath, you're like, what's going on,
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that for me, I appreciated life more. I continue to tell family members and friends that I love them. I didn't. One thing that was good this year that I can look back on is I didn't have a lot of fights or arguments with people, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It taught me to be more loving and, through the good and the bad relationships and, whether it was at work or, personal, I just learned to sometimes just take that L. Just take it, you know, and you know, be thankful that whatever happens in life, at least I get to fight to see another day. Yeah. You know, and it's just one of those things that, you know, I have always said it, man. We are living here temporarily. Yeah. You know, whether it's I always was told in church, like, you know, take care of your kids. God's given them to you temporarily. Yeah. They're not guaranteed through. Right. They're not guaranteed to be 100 years old either. They're not guaranteed to be older. You know, you got to be able to take care of your kids and take care of yourself, and just, you know, all these little things. And just, you know, I just became, you know, real humble about a lot of things. And I stopped letting things bother me. And you know, throughout, you know, my journey, you know, sitting here, you know, looking back, I remember the beginning of the year just being really financially stable, being really good, to a point where I had like $4.30 in my account. Sheesh. And not knowing how I'm going to pay for my show, how I'm going to pay my bills, how I'm going to do this. But, you know, when I say God is good, I mean, I cannot stress that enough. I mean, every time I feel like I was out, like another door opened. And that's one thing that taught me this year was he always had my back. Real talk, David. Like, man, it was one of those things where it's crazy. But the reason why it happened too was I just never gave up. You know, when I see where I didn't have anything, I start, you know, that hustler's mentality of, you know, how can I make money? Yeah, I got to get it. What can I do? You know what I mean? What resources do I have? What can I create? What can I do this? And, you know, and really the one word that sticks to me is being proactive. And you got to be that way in life. Action. Absolutely. Don't wait for this stimulus check. Right. Like, you know, start preparing for it, you know, whatever you got to do now. So it's just one of those things that, you know, I'm just grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to still share, you know, and serve other people. And whoever is around the ride, great. And if they're not, it's okay. You know, people come and go. And, you know, as long as that I know who I am, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Man.
It was a roller coaster, though.
Yeah. Man, that's powerful, man. And it's crazy how really before this lockdown, COVID, or whatever you want to call it, happened, we really did take just for granted hanging out with the family, being able to walk around the mall and not be nervous. You know what I mean?
The biggest thing for me, it was weird. During the lockdown, well, anyway, I'll just say the biggest thing for me was to be able to sit down at a restaurant. So me and one of my friends, shout out to Mark, we went to go Taco Casa in Mansfield. So everything was blocked off as far as sitting, but we can go inside and order and get out and basically leave, right? So I looked at the guy and I said, it's already been like 3 months without them letting anybody do anything. And I said, hey, there's nobody here. It was about 11 o'clock, whatever. I said, do you mind if I sit down and eat? He said, I can't tell you no, or I can't tell you that you can't. He said, but I'm just going to turn around and do my own thing. He goes, do what you got to do. Oh, so, man, it was just so humbling for him to say that to me, because we sat down, we ate really, really fast, that nobody would come. And then we got out, you know, and it was just that, wow, like we're sitting down eating when we haven't been able to go inside any restaurant and just eat.
Most people have been eating in their car for the past couple months.
Exactly.
You know how crazy? Or you got to get your McDonald's fries and run all the way home before. Right. You know how soggy those fries get within 10 minutes? Man. You got to eat them quick.
Full of salt.
Yeah. Man, but it really is crazy. I'm thankful and blessed to make it to the other side of this year, because I know a lot of people didn't make it. And even though y'all see me comment some stuff about COVID, about like, you know, the mask and stuff like that, that doesn't mean I don't take it seriously, because I know people around me are susceptible to it. So I do take my precautions. I wash my hands. I do my Germ-X. I stay in the crib. Well, I stay in the crib already. I don't go nowhere besides Walmart to get groceries, or, you know, or El Rancho or something. So I stay in the crib. I just go to my mom's house or something like that. But I am precautious. It is a real thing. It doesn't affect everybody the same, but that doesn't mean I'm just going to be negligent of it. Because we've had a situation here with people at Fishbowl have gone sick, and I know I've been through it. I got sick in August, and I know that was the worst couple weeks in my life. I couldn't work. Right. I wasn't making no money. I had rent due. At the same time, I couldn't even get out of bed. I had body aches and, you know, just if anybody out there is going through something, and you know them, give them a helping hand. You know what I mean? At least even some words to let them know, like, hey, I'm here.
And you're not alone.
Yeah, because everybody's going through it.
It's crazy because I recently see that on Facebook how people started sharing like home remedies. Sharing what works for them. I remember everybody was sharing their own thing. So it's just we got a lot to be grateful for, man. It's one of those things that hopefully a lot of us grew from. Hopefully we're just better people at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one thing is I feel like most people are better people after this year. It puts things into perspective. You can't just be all about you because the world is not just you. The world kept moving on, and a lot of people were in the house.
That's right.
A lot of people who thought they was, for example, celebrities. Celebrities are losing their mind right now because nobody cares about them anymore.
They just like they're all the same.
They're all the same. And that's why you see them doing their little campaigns and their slogans because they want to be seen. But nobody cares.
Right.
The world's going to keep trucking if you hear it or not.
Movie theaters never boomed back up.
Yeah, they're not. And I feel like that's one thing that's going to plummet.
Yeah.
Because you already see they're starting to do it a different way. Like with, I don't know if you've seen that Wonder Woman. It came out like a week or two ago.
Right.
And instead of, they did it in the movie theaters some places. But mainly, I think it was on HBO. You have to be subscribed to HBO, and then you have to like buy it on there for like $15. And I think that's the way it's gonna go.
Right, where people have the option to go to the movie. Well, if the movies become obsolete, you're gonna have to watch it, streaming. But there's another movie I don't know. You need to watch it with your kids. It's called Soul. It's on Disney Plus.
We watched that already.
What do you think about it?
Man, that was a good movie.
Didn't it have like a big, deeper meaning?
Yeah.
As far as like, that. Well, I won't tell the story, but it's real deep.
It basically stop thinking the world is all about you, and your purpose is helping other people find their purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it's a great story by Pixar, and man, if you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to see it. It's definitely a good movie, good family movie. It's called Soul. It's on Disney Plus.
I feel like Pixar has always had the hits.
Yes.
They don't miss with their movies. If they're finna drop it, it's finna be a hit.
And has meaning behind it for both adults and children. Yeah,
I remember the first one I saw I was like, wow. You remember WALL-E?
Yeah, the robot.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ones because they talking about the world is dying and we need to plant more trees. And most people would trip, oh, that's a cute robot. Instead of, seeing what the meaning was.
Right. No, man, I hear you. And I like the way that it's going where, I go to Netflix and, it just says 2020 new movie. And, I'm like, wow. Like, right now I'm watching some movie with, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. He's so popular. But they're out in space, and it just came out. But I haven't finished it, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah. So, let me ask you. We're gonna switch.
Go ahead.
Strides real quick. Let me ask you. So, you know what a strip club is, right?
You know what? Just turns my stomach just thinking about it. Those are somebody's, daughters and granddaughters.
Yeah. So let me ask you: do you feel like OnlyFans is like a strip club, or is it more closer to cheating than a strip club?
I've never registered for OnlyFans, so let me ask you this: is it all nude?
No. It's not all nude. There's actually people on there who like sell recipes or music. People who teach lessons on there, or artists that drop exclusive content on. That's why it says only for your fans, and that's what it was at first. But now, 90% of it is nude women. All of them aren't nude. Some might just sell feet pics. I don't know.
So that they use it for whatever purpose.
Whatever they want. So but mainly what I've seen is they're mostly nude.
Right.
So would that be closer to cheating, or was it more like an electronic strip club?
I'll answer your question with a question.
Okay.
Is watching porn cheating?
Some people like to think so.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you're feeding yourself something that is going to possibly turn into a possible addiction. Mm-hmm. It's like saying, is alcohol a drug? No, people can say yes or no.
Yeah.
And to some people, they can handle it. Some people turn it to an addiction.
Yeah.
So, my whole thing is that if something has the opportunity to turn into something bad and just have, not very good malice with it,
yeah,
do I want to engage in that?
Yeah.
And for me, the answer is no. I don't want to, or ask yourself this: would you allow your kids to watch it?
No.
Right. So,
yeah.
Or would you watch it, or would you watch it and be okay with your kids watching it with you? It's no different.
Even on top of that, I would be like, that's a dumbass way to spend $10, $15
exactly
a month. You can play with YouTube with no ads. You know how annoying those ads are? You better get rid of them ads first before you spending money on some women.
So, that's just my perspective on it. It's like, it's just, and it is what it is. But, if it's not bettering me, then it's just wasting my time,
And I feel like, to me personally, I feel like strip clubs are a waste of money.
Yeah.
I could tell you I've only spent, back in my younger days, I've been there twice in my life. One time we got clowned by the DJ. Because we were just in the back and the women were coming to us, but we weren't spending no money.
Right.
We just needed a place to go.
Y'all was just window shopping.
Yeah, we were just there.
Right. One trying
and
nothing
the DJ
on.
was like, man, if you ain't finna spend no money, get out of here. And
right.
we're like, man, why you clowning? We just need somewhere to go,
Right.
We all 19. We ain't got our own house to just hang out. But the other time, I went with the same group of friends, and I just spent $20. It wasn't even mine $20 now that I think of it, because I feel like, not to be like hog or anything, but I can get women without paying them. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like you're paying for their attention.
Sometimes it'd be more expensive taking them on dates, though, boy.
Man, that's what I'm saying. If you get married, you pay with your life. That's
that paycheck gone.
Yeah, that paycheck gone. And you gonna see Jeff Bezos had to spend $150 billion to get rid of one.
They said if you find a good woman, keep her. And then the meme said,
cheaper to keep her.
No, keep her ass away from me.
Yeah, but women are a good influence. You just gotta find the right one that's gonna support you how you need it. And that's the thing. I feel like what couples get wrong is, just like you were saying earlier, maybe they might be a great person just overall, but it's just not the type of greatness that you need in your life. You know what I mean? Some people might be untrustworthy, like they don't trust people. So
go ahead.
They don't need a couple in their life that's gonna ignore their trust issues and just do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, or somebody might be a fitness model, so they would probably not likely want to be with a guy who just eats all day, because then that doesn't serve their lifestyle. Just, you gotta find what fits you. Basically, when I was younger, I used to think men and women were built like in a factory, and your soulmate was already like grooves, like the back of their knees fit in the back of your knees, something like that.
For me, it's one of those things that and I was guilty of this, man, is having expectations of people.
Yeah.
Expectations will ruin a relationship. Mm-hmm. That's like me sitting here and saying, I expect this and this out of her, and then when it's not met, you just like, okay, well, this ain't work for me.
Yeah.
And then finally gets to the point where it's just like, if I'm taking care of my own, she taking care of her own, and at the end of the day, I feel like you should be with your best friend, man. You should be somebody you can kick it with, be honest with, and just be you. You shouldn't have to be ever felt like you're, just
and
walking on pins and needles, basically.
Expectations are actually like a big relationship killer, because especially with guys, if you have a mom who like cleans and cooks and takes care of the stuff, if you go into a relationship with a new age girl that we have now, they're probably not going to do all that.
Right. She going to grab a fork and flip that tortilla.
Yeah. And that's a big problem that I had in my relationship at the beginning, is I was expecting my girl to be like my mom, even though she wasn't raised the same or anything. My mom, her background is she's very Hispanic and
nurturing.
Nurturing. She's American second, you know what I mean? So what I seen growing up is the house was always clean. We always ate, and, she worked at the same time. So when me and my girlfriend first started dating, she would be at the crib, but then I would come home and it wasn't clean.
Or there wasn't no dinner ready.
Or there was one or the other. And I was getting upset at her for expectations that I just had myself without even, communicating it with her. But now we've reached a balance. Like I said, she's still messy, which is fine. I just know that's a downfall she has.
And you got to tell yourself, like, if that's the only thing that's wrong with my girl, then I'm
yeah,
straight.
Yeah.
I can get over that.
She don't even got Instagram, and I'm tripping by her being messy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But, it is what it is.
Because you have to learn to choose to fight your battles, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody's perfect. It's just like, what are you going to allow and what are you not going to allow? And then, you go from there.
Yeah. And, just go from there.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do to succeed. But for this year, I'm actually very excited. I'm not going to say new year, new me. I'm still the same me. I'm just continuing the next chapter of the book.
And I think what it basically boils down to is that, feed your soul, educate yourself, be a better person, first and foremost, and just like we started the show talking about, you can't help others if you're not, helping yourself at the end of the day. You want to give somebody your 2 cents, you best believe you better have read a book, or you best believe, you came out of counseling and you got some good information that you can pass on to somebody else. And, don't just be telling, it's like somebody telling you how to do your radio show and it never ran it before themselves.
Or, they're trying to tell me how to do my radio show, even though, I'm getting better results than the other radio show.
Right. And everyone's progress is different, and like they say, this is a marathon. This ain't a race, and at the end of the day, we have our own expectations of what we want to do with our lives. And, what somebody may say, why aren't you doing this? Well, it's not that I don't want it, just I don't want it yet. Let me get to that point.
My process is different, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I have certain steps to the things I'm trying to do, and, I understand exactly what you're saying. And
again, happy birthday.
Oh, appreciate
Big
it, man.
25.
I know.
Woo.
It's crazy, man.
Another year. You made it.
I feel older than that guy yesterday. I feel more smarter and mature. But, you don't want to be just another year older on your birthday. You want to be a little wiser, a little smarter, a little bit more money in your pocket. Not saying money is the whole motivation, even though I do talk about it a lot. But you need money to do what you want to do. I don't want to work my whole life.
Exactly.
I'm trying to get to a point where maybe radio is just my only job.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what a lot of people, they live the same year over and over. And that's just...
Well, they live the same year and expect different results.
And that's insanity.
There you go.
The definition of insanity. And, we're just here trying to drop some gems on y'all.
That's it.
And... what it is. I'm feeling good. It's my birthday. We got the crown. It's sneaking up on me a little bit. My
that
words,
salted caramel ain't no joke.
That salted caramel don't taste like no alcohol. So
nothing.
I'm over here trying to just stay positive, keep it going, and
honestly, live life to your fullest, man.
Yeah, and I don't want to have beef with nobody.
No.
You know what I mean? That's pointless.
It is. It's just dead energy.
Yeah.
Bad vibes, everything. Like, get away from me. I don't need that.
Yeah. And that's why I try to be genuine in all my interactions. Whenever I see people in person, nobody who I've ever met, well, that's different. Let me get back. Because I'll put this a different way. People who I meet in elevated scenarios, like example, like at Fishbowl or at networking events or just stuff along those lines, people who have, like, bigger dreams, they love me every time, they speak to me. First time meeting, they'll just genuine interaction and everything's good, great conversation. I can have a great conversation with people who have something going for them. But then at work, people don't seem to like, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying people seem to hate on me because I got a pep to my step, I look like I'm living with a purpose. And for anybody dealing with that out there, don't let that get you down because it means you're on the right path.
You're doing something right.
Yeah. They're mad that the fact that you're happy with your life. Some people ain't happy with their life.
Man, that's what I always say. If you I see these videos all the time, people cussing people out like at the McDonald's line, and I'm like, those people got to be really miserable because they really fighting because the other person got in front of them over their food. Like, it's not that serious, man.
Or their order was wrong.
Exactly, just throwing a fit, and I mean. It's human error, man. It's mistakes. People make mistakes.
And they
no
just
one's
doing
perfect.
their job.
You think they're doing it intentionally? Like, oh, that's Jose. I'm gonna go over and mess up his number 2.
Hey, some people might. Some people might because they know you. I say, oh, that's that dude from the radio.
Yeah.
I'm going to put his fries upside down.
Right. I'll show him.
Yeah, I'll show him. But, just stay positive, people. If your light is shining, keep it bright. Turn up the brightness on them.
Kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Make them put some shades on because you're going to be too bright.
Right. Got a bright future.
Yeah. I was going to come in here with some shades.
Yeah.
And I was going to be like, why I'm wearing these shades? Yeah. My future too bright.
Right. Let them know right up front.
Yeah, my future too bright. I can't see y'all.
You need to wear them at night, too.
Yeah, that's what I do. Shit. No, actually, I had about like a year and a half where I wore glasses everywhere.
No matter what.
Sunglasses, no matter day, night, no matter. I just didn't want people seeing my eyes.
Right.
Because, when you were in college, you might not be sober all the time.
Right.
So this on your face, people can't tell if you're sober or not. This tells everything. It's the windows to your soul.
Right.
But, we coming to the end of the show. I appreciate, you coming by.
Absolutely.
And, it was honestly a great episode. 2-hour show.
Absolutely. And I needed this. It's one of those things that sometimes it's good just to chill, and unwind and just kind of, reflect.
Yeah.
It's the end of the year. It's time to reflect.
Yeah.
Look at what you're doing good. Look at what you're doing bad. If you're wanting these new doors to open, how do you get through them? Because opportunity is always there. It's just a matter of fact whether you're going to take advantage of it or not.
Yeah. Let the people know where they can find you at.
Man, every Wednesday night here on Sabes, here at Fishbowl Radio Network, FBRN.US. You can go on my website at www.yatusabesradio.com. You can find me under Sabes Radio on Instagram. I mean, I'm just trying to out here help the people, have fun doing it, and continue to grow.
And I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me on. It was fun today.
Yeah, it was. Shout out to Angelo on the boards.
Yes.
And shout out to all the people that shared, like, and subscribe and told us to take shots. Shout out to Miss Sammy for giving us this great opportunity at Fishbowl to
Absolutely.
just, spread our words and say what we got to say and, help people just expand their brands. Because this is a big platform, especially with the field in the background.
Don't get any bigger than that.
It don't. We in the stadium.
Right.
Where athletes be.
Thank you.
Athletes with
right.
an F.
Right, athletes.
Yeah, but this is the last episode of Why of Dizzy TV. And, I'm happy. This has been a good little run. Red Pill experience next week, man. I'm excited. And we're out.